Biella is a town which life and economy revolves all around water. The economy of Biella has been developed since decades around its relation with the river. Seeing the lately very dramatic events in our environment, we decided to speak about that, about the relation of the people with the river and how the fluvial systems can be seen as an indicator of the climate change. In the development of our challenges, we develop a network of experts whose expertise and whose research deals with water in many different ways. So we put the artists in contact with them and we start thinking and exchanging about the issues related to the fluvial system, starting from the glaciers, going towards the rice fields.
I'm an independent artist working with new media technologies, immersive media, audiovisual media, and also interactive media with performance and biotechnologies. I did a PhD at the Bauhaus University in Weimar in media art, and my main topics are to work on the nature and technology field, and at the core lays a very foundational question: how I can encourage a better relationship between people, between humans and the environment, and how I can create art that makes a difference in the sense to encourage more empathy between nature and its habitats. What I have been working on in the residency at Città dell'Arte Fondazione Pistoletto is I decided to focus on glaciers as the starting point of fluvial systems. So glaciers hold a very big importance, not only as storages of water, but also they are something like the Earth memory. So they hold information about the past climates of not only decades, but hundreds, thousands of years ago. They hold information on pollution, radiation, but also organic material, waste products, bones, fossils, etc. And with climate change at hand, we all know that glaciers are already melting down and they will continue to do so. So in my project, I'm focusing exactly on this topic, and I developed 3 works that address this topic with different materialities, but also with different kinds of engagement point for the visitors. My very first reason that I found attractive to this challenge was that the representation of fluvial systems as a large, they have a strong aesthetic resemblance to the microworlds that I usually deal with. So my background is more in dealing with something like mycology, so fungi networks or cellular structures and plant roots, etc. But I found that somehow the fluvial systems have a very strong aesthetic similarity, so that immediately sparked my attention. And then I also found the particular location here very interesting because it's situated in this, well, directly next to the river, where the Alps begin. So it's a great starting point to work on this topic. And also particularly, I found attractive that Città dell'Arte has already experience as a residency host. So that was actually important for me as an artist to go somewhere where there already exists experience and an affinity to actually work with artists and understanding artists' minds. In general, I would like to focus or to draw attention onto the interconnectedness of things. So a water network is a good example of that because it's not isolated water stream, but of course it's connected to culture, to habitats, to humans, but also to technology, to pollution, etc. So in my work, this can be seen, for example, in the simulation also. It plays very strongly with these kind of networks. But also in general, I would like to encourage the people that come to see my work to feel a stronger engagement with nature, and maybe also to question their dealings with nature and how they handle water down to their daily life resource.
My name is Joshua Stein. I've been working on a project called Dissolution, Reconstitution, Sediment as Cultural Heritage. For this, I've mostly been interested in looking at the waterways around Biella in northern Italy in the Piemonte, and the network of waterways, both artificial and natural, trying to understand how they are connected by sediment that moves through the landscape, and that sediment carries with it a certain amount of cultural heritage from minerals contributed by industry, obviously by geology, which I think is the way we normally think about things. But then the project has been trying to understand how there's a version of human geology that plays a part in this larger network as well. I was most attracted to the STARTS4Water residency because it seemed to challenge the notion of an artist sitting in a studio by oneself. And it seemed to really promote collaboration with specialists and experts outside of art, which was very interesting for me. And I think that the network of experts that have been assembled has really proven to be helpful for this project. But that was definitely one of the most interesting aspects of this particular residency. So in terms of trying to find something from the project that can help the way we think about sustainable management of water, I think in some ways one aspect of this project is complicating some intuitive assumptions that we have, which sometimes are true. We have this very intuitive connection that water typically comes out of the mountains, moves into the plains, and that is true, and this project does verify that. At the same time, it is incredibly complicated by hundreds of years of human intervention. And so there's also a very simple truth here, which is that things are more complicated than we initially assume or understand. And the science and the technology in some ways can help understand that complexity. There are some other complexities that are historical, that are in terms of jurisdiction and where governmental agencies overlap or don't overlap, share information or don't share information, that can make things quite difficult to understand a larger picture. And I think this project runs into all of those challenges for me in a very interesting way. I'm excited about tackling those challenges, but I think that the project really points to the fact that to really start to understand the complications that we have produced, nature is complicated enough on its own, but we have also produced an incredible level of complexity in terms of our interaction with nature. And to really understand that, we probably have to significantly change the way that we work as a society in terms of different ways to share information.